Football has started in the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship. We're here in Letterkenny at St Eunan's for a double header in what is very wet, windy and dirty conditions, which is going to make for an interesting afternoon of football as four sides battle it out for the two remaining places in the quarter-final draw, which will take place later today. First up at 3 o'clock, we have Downings taking on MacCumhaills. Downings have the top scorer in the championship and Johnny McGrody in the ranks, and we wait to see if Gallen's going to feature. He picked up an injury last week in the defeat against Gweedore. That's teed up for the first match, which starts at 3, and then we have the second game to come at 5 o'clock, where Four Masters are playing Glenswilly. It's all to play for as the preliminaries continue in the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship. Game 1 is on shortly here on Stream Sport and Donegal GA TV.
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.
It's a very good afternoon and welcome along to this double header here at the O'Donnell Park in Letterkenny, where the final two spots in the quarter-final draw for the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Senior Football Championship are up for grabs here at a wet, windy, slippy, dirty O'Donnell Park today, and it's going to make things very, very tricky for these teams playing. But in fairness to the grounds people and the staff here at the O'Donnell Park in Letterkenny, the pitch is in wonderful condition despite all the heavy rain that we've had over the last few days, and we'll see how it goes through this match. There is of course two games to come. First up, it's MacCumhaills against Downings in the third of the preliminary quarter-finals. That's getting underway in a few moments' time, and then later on at 5 o'clock we do of course have the last of the prelim games, in which Four Masters are taking on Glenswilly. And as we said, there is just two spots up for grabs now in the quarter-final draw. Coming through their respective playoffs yesterday were MacCumhaills and Termo, two big results against Killybegs and St Eunan's. The defending champions St Eunan's are out even before we hit the quarter-final stage, and already through to the quarter-finals Dunaibh, Gweedore, St Michael's and Kilcar. So we do of course have lots of action here in wet conditions to come this afternoon in Letterkenny. On co-commentary today is Brendan Kilcoyne, and no doubt there's a lot of sides now today, Brendan, with their eye firmly on the prize after what took place yesterday with St Eunan's bowing out.
Yeah, I suppose especially sent shockwaves around the county, Yashin. You know, the fact that Eunan's are out before even the quarter-final stage. I don't recall them being out that early any year for a long time, but Terman worthy of their win on the evening, so they were, Yashin, and go into the quarter-final deservedly so. Yeah,
and MacCumhaills were probably lifted by that result because their game started after the Terman won over Eunan's, and now MacCumhaills, I suppose they're itching even more now to get their hands on that Dr. Maguire Cup again with St Eunan's goal.
Yeah, I tell you, they're going the right way about it. I thought they were superb last night. I was down to the game in Ardra and they were really firing on all cylinders. Big Kieran Gallagher in the middle of the field, back playing really well. Ethan O'Donnell in the middle of the field playing really well. And then you had young Shea Malone inside, a lovely footballer. But they've so many threats all over the field. They've no weak links, and they've players on the bench that can come in and help them. So look really good last night, Hashi.
Okay then, just before we go through the starting 15s, Brendan, what are we expecting here today? MacCumhaills taking on Downings, and listen, the conditions are going to play the part, and does it maybe even the playing ground for both of these sides today?
To a degree, yeah, to a degree. And if the fact, I think, you know, Oisín Gallen is obviously out for MacCumhaills carrying an injury, so he's a huge loss. So I think that levels it, so it does. And to be fair to Maxi Curran and Downings, you know, they've done really well in the senior league over the last couple of years. No team is giving them a hammer, and they're basically fighting against every team. There is an element of you don't know what you're going to get today. They're very reliant on particularly Johnny McGrody and Paddy McElwee for scores, so they are. So if MacCumhaills can shut them down, you'd fancy them to come through. Okay, let's look at the starting 15s. Owen Gallen is in goals for MacCumhaills. Rory Callaghan, Conor Griffin and Fionn McGinty make up the full back line. At 5, 6 and 7 is Cian Mulligan, Sean Martin and Fintan Griffin. Luke Gavigan and Joe Boyle are once again the midfield partnership. Chad McSorley, Jimmy Keegan and the very, very pacey Conor McGinty are the half forward line. Then that change
at number 14. There's no Oisín Gallen having picked up that injury. Sean McMenamin takes his place. Kevin McCormick goes out to the right at 13, and then on the left is the experienced Marty O'Reilly. As for Downing's, Jordan Nugent once again is in goals. Alex Gutowski is at 2. Tiernan McBride and Pádraig McGinty make up 3 and 4. Alan Pasoma, Ronan Gallagher and Podgin Shields are the half-back line. Cian McBride's in the middle of the park with Paul McGrody. Then we've got Ronan Pasoma. The championship's top scorer, Johnny McGrody's at 11, and Conor Boyce wears 12. Gary Van McClafferty's at 13. Paddy McElwee, who's also chipped in with a lot of scoring this year, at 14. And Danny McBride is at 15 for Downing. So that is how both teams will be lining up there for this contest, which will be getting underway in just a few moments' time. The Downing's backroom team and the substitutes are making their way off the pitch. Our referee is Cahill Boland today. The Ardra man is taking charge of this one, and both sets of players just lining up on their respective 45s, and we'll be getting the game underway in just a few moments' time. Okay, so both sets of players are lining up for the national anthem, but it is a double header today. We will have the national anthem before the second game, which starts at 5. So a bit of confusion there. We were wondering what the guys were lining up for. But listen, both sets of players now in a huddles. This is knockout football now. It's championship football. Whoever loses today, it's the end of the road. So the carrot is massive for another game next weekend for the winners, Brendan. Absolutely huge carrot here for both sides, and both sides will be going in with real ambitions of moving on to a quarter-final stage, Oisín, so they will, performed really well in the championship today at both of them, and MacCumhaills in particular, they're looking to develop to further on. It was a quarter-final stage they got to last year that Gidor beat them in, and they're looking to push on further than that. Downing's, as I said, they're going to be looking to the likes of, particularly Paddy McElwee, Johnny McGrody, but Ronan Gallagher at 6, and this Cian McBride, who I'm looking forward to see playing today too. Big midfielder, the lad from Meath, living down in Downings now, so he's going to be a big player for them. So really looking forward to seeing how this game transpires. Yeah, and it's going to be, just looking down, MacCumhaills are going to be playing from left to right, heading down to the River Swilly end of the ground, looking at the flags. They're going to be playing into the breeze in the first half, so it's going to be with the Twin Towns boys as the ball is in the air and the action gets up and running, and it's the big frame of McBride who gets there first for Downings. Alan Pasoma is just going to lay that one off, and now Oisín Boyce picks up the ball with number 8 in his back, starting in the middle of the park once again. You'll see that the 9, Paul McGrody, is there as well, so the 2 starting midfielders are there, and you can add in Cian McBride to that mix as well. So 3 big men across the middle for Downings. This is Ronan Gallagher, who of course was part of the Donegal County setup for a while in recent times. Gallagher's going to work it now down the right hand side, comes back in field. Support arrives with Paddy McElwee, flicks that one forward. This is Oisín Boyce once again. Boyce is going to lay it back to Paddy McElwee. We're back in field, but he's enough to spot today. He's a big man, sporting the blue boots. The wing back is Alan Pasoma. He takes the return, steps onto the 21. Is there too much on the ball? He does well to control it. Brilliant block down there. MacCumhaills have it back. Conor McGinty just lays it off. The full-back is Conor Griffin. And now we can see Luke Gavigan look to work it out from his own half. And for the first time, MacCumhaills are coming with an attack here at the O'Donnell Park. A wet one, the O'Donnell Park. Ball position just now on the opposite side of the park, on the Orr Leisure Centre side of the ground. And obviously conditions are going to play their part, as you can see there, with Jimmy Keegan just having trouble controlling the ball. But in the meantime, Sean McMenamin, who's in to take the place of Oisín Gallen, has popped into Joe Boyle. Joe Boyle steadies himself on the right foot. Joe Boyle's going to split the post here. We've got our first score of the game, and it's the midfielder Joe Boyle who opens his account, and the first team on the scoreboard is the man from the Twin Towns, Brendan. Yeah, well worked score from that turnover back in their own D, worked up the field through the hands of Conor McGinty, Sean Martin, and eventually finding its way to Joe Boyle, who took the score well from out in the wing. So the ball's back in play, and it's MacCumhaills that have it once again. Marty Riley now, just on the edge of the arc, looking for support. He gives it to Conor McGinty, going for the 2-pointer, and that one drops over the bar. It's a 3-point to no-score game here. Conor McGinty gets a 2-pointer, and a very, very quick 30 seconds or so there from the MacCumhaills men to edge out in front again. Yeah,
brilliant score from Conor McGinty. Absolutely fabulous footballer, watching him all year. Had him at the minor and 20s over the years, Oisin, and a lot of class to this guy. So there is, drops deep, picks up an awful lot of ball. We saw him involved in the interception back in his own D just a couple of minutes ago, and that was a really good score.
Ball back in play. Pasoma has it for Downings once again. And of course both of these teams, when you look at their campaign, MacCumhaills, well, they beat St Michael's and they beat Ardra, but suffered defeat to Gweedore and drew their match with Glen Swilly, while Downings have picked up just one win, and that came, of course, a massive one it was as well, against Kilcar. But there was 3 defeats to Dunlow, Niamh Connell and St Naws, but they're in a position here where they can progress through to the last 8 of the senior championship. The ball now down the left-hand channel with Downings, who are looking yet to get their first score registered on the scoreboard this afternoon. Downings quite happy to hold on to possession over on the far side of the park as they work it back to the middle third, and Oisin Boyce is once again standing there for the Downings men. Spreads it across the 45 and is picked up by Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher looked to pull the strings here, gives it to Paddy McElwee. He's been marshalled in there by Rory Callan, the man, of course, who scored 2 goals against Gweedore last week from cornerback. Back into the middle once again, and it's Johnny McGrody, the championship's top scorer. He's been watched by Luke Gavigan. McGrody sends it out to the left-hand channel, popped forward once again. Downey's going for a 2-pointer. Instead it comes back in. This is Danny McBride, who has a pop here on the left boot, and that's a good score. Danny McBride's got the opener for Downings. It's a 3-1 game here now at the O'Donnell Park, and with what in the clock, over 4 minutes played, Downings get their first score, Brendan.
Yeah, good patient play from Downings. So was, they worked the ball over and back across the arc, and eventually found his way to Johnny McBride, who put it over the ball. A couple of notable: Rory Callahan has taken up Paddy McElwee, while Cian Mulligan has taken up Johnny McGrady. Yeah, and Cathal Boland is the referee, and he says the keeper was just taking too long with the kick out. The crowd was getting behind the ref as well, so some would say that's a bit harsh, others will say it was fair enough. Downings people will think it was fair. I think it was a bit harsh, actually, because I just had my head down for 5 seconds, and next thing he's a judge for taking too long. So, but anyway, it is what it is, and it's going to give Downings an opportunity here now to stick over another score. And Johnny McGrody, who in this campaign has 126 to his name, 1-8 of that came against Kilcar in that super one in Towney. McGrody kicking into the River Swilly end of the ground. Here he comes, should be simple enough, splits the post, and Johnny McGrody's got his first today. That's now 127 for the star man from Downings, and it's a 3-2 game. It's a certainly an entertaining open number of minutes here in tough conditions, Brendan. It has, yeah, 5 minutes, and we've had a lot of rain, so we had this morning. I think it will clear up before the afternoon's out, but there is a strong wind, and I think it's in McCool's favour. Kicking into the town goals, the clubhouse goals. The break's going to be picked up around the middle by Alan Pasoma. Pasoma's going to chip that one forward again to McBride. McBride crossing the 45 in the McCool's half. Back it comes now to Ronan Gallagher. He's got men lining up. This is Ronan Pasoma, who flicks it out now to Pagine Shields. Heading towards the edge of the arc. He has Oisin Boyce. Pops it over the top into the path off Shields once again. This is good running by Shields. Comes across the face of goal, but it just drops kindly for the McCool's defence. Sean Martin is able to clear the danger. Luke Gavigan now looking up to see what the movement's like. He's got a runner coming on the middle. In comes a challenge. The referee's playing the advantage here. Keegan has it once again for McCool's. Back it comes now to Sean Martin. Fintan Griffin's going to send it into the centre field. There's lots of space now for young Conor McGinty, who kicked that 2-pointer in the opening minutes for McCool's. It's a 3-2 game here. McCool's, of course, were leading by 3 points to no score. It's actually 2 scores apiece, but we do have that 2-pointer from McGinty, which has them in front. And now Fintan Griffin can carry the ball forward once again for the men from the Twin Towns. Marty Riley into McMenamin, but McMenamin's given it straight to Ronan Pasoma, who's challenged. They go to ground, but McCool's have it back. Slippery conditions playing its part. Conor Boyce just lays that one off.
McCool's just hugging the edge of the arc, and out comes Kevin McCormick on this occasion. It goes to Sean Martin once again. Over to Gavigan. Gavigan crosses the 45, is able to get through the challenge at Basoma. He's won a free, but does he need it? Advantage is played, but he doesn't need the free because he's got the score there. And the white flag's raised, and it's out now to a 4-2 fixture in favour of MacCumhaills, and Gavigan gets his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, and a brilliant score from Luke Gavigan, showing leadership, taking his man on, a little bit of a sidestep, and just floats it over the bar. Then he had the advantage of the free, so he knew it was a shot to nothing Oisin, and did really well to put it over the bar, and he's after winning that kick out too.
Yeah, Jordan Nugent kicks the ball straight up the field. It's one big Gavigan. Gavigan sends a delightful ball into McCormick, who slots it over the bar. That's a brilliant score by the MacCumhaills now to go 5-2 in front, and Gavigan to the fore once again there.
Yeah, winning the kick out, very important, on the opposition kick out to put pressure on it, and went to Luke Gavigan. Brilliant ball into weak Kevin McCormick, and they've been instrumental. That Kevin McCormick, Jamie Keegan and Conor McGinty, the way they link up play up in that top half of the field is absolutely fantastic at times. I saw them a couple of times this year, and they really understand each other's game.
The kick out going out towards the left, and young McMenamin does well to get his hands on the ball, but the referee says it was thrown. So Danny McBride is going to take this free for Downings, who are trailing here by 3. It's a 5-2 game. McBride takes the free, sends it centre field once again, and this is Oisin Boyce crossing into the MacCumhaills half. He has Gary Van McClafferty freed on the right hand side, but instead he comes into the middle of the park, gives it to Ronan Gallagher, who's looking to pull the strings. Gallagher is going to give it out there to Shields, and now McBride. Shields takes a return, but he's going to have to turn back the way. Goes to Danny McBride once again. McGroddy just pops that one forward, wants the return. Johnny McGroddy on the edge of the D, but he's closed out. Gives it to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher's going to stick this one between the posts. Yeah. The hands raised by the referee. The white flag is raised as well. 5-3. This is a good game of football, Brendan. And Ronan Gallagher gets his first of the day. Yeah,
very important player, from playing from centre back, getting up the field, and again Downing showing a lot of patience to work the score, to work the opportunity for Ronan Gallagher, who did the dutiful and put it over the bar. So he did. So yeah, we've had a really bright opening here despite the conditions. Oisin, 9 minutes in, 5 points to 3.
And it's MacCumhaills that are on the attack once again. Out it goes to the left hand channel to Sean Martin. Martin has Artie O'Reilly, if he wants to use him, goes to the veteran, given now to Keegan. Keegan's looking to see what the options is. There's a man with tons of space over in the far side of the pitch. I think that might be, is it Conor McGinty way over there? Back to Gavigan. Gavigan wants a 2-pointer here. He kicks it high with that big right boot. It drops, and it drops over the bar as well. Gavigan certainly on form as they go 4 in front. 5 becomes 7 for MacCumhaills at 7-3.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, and they already have 2 2-pointers. Conor McGinty, Luke Gavigan on that occasion. We saw him kick a brilliant point a couple of minutes ago. On that stage, MacCumhaills worked the ball really well over the top of the arc, and he had a look up, and boy, he hit it sweetly over the bar. So he did, Oisin.
Yeah, we welcome our listeners to Highland Radio Sunday Sport as well. It's a 7-3 game here to MacCumhaills. If you're just joining us, by the way, no Oisin Gallen today. He is not featuring after picking up that injury last week. The story of the game, Joe Boyle, Conor McGinty, Luke Gavigan, Kevin McCormick, and Luke Gavigan again with a 2-pointer. The scores there for MacCumhaills. They've actually got 2 2-pointers. Conor McGinty got the first as well. Danny McBride, Johnny McGroddy and Ronan Gallagher have all scored for Downings, but it's MacCumhaills that have a 4-point advantage. We're watching Paddy McElwee here now, going to take this free just on the edge of the arc, and there's an opportunity for this deficit to be reduced to 2 points. McElwee has yet to register a score today. 2-16 in the championship. He's on that list as one of the top 10 scorers in this campaign. McElwee just drops that one short as the keeper of Owen Gallen deals with it easy enough. Out it goes now to Rory Callahan. Callahan's going to pop that one back into the edge of the D, and Sean Martin picks it up once again. Martin flicks it forward to Callahan now. Cross their own 45 with Gavigan. Gavigan with a nice ball forward. Ball possession in and around the middle third of the park once again. Sean Martin is in there. He looks up to see what the movement's like. There's not a lot of it at the moment. He has to wait for players to make their way into the half of Downings. Martin quite happy to hold on to the possession. There's a bit of space out to his left hand side, and now coming off the right shoulder. There's a bit of support. It comes to Kevin McCormick. McCormick now has Cian Mulligan charging up the field ahead of him. McCormick's going to go for a 2-pointer here. McCormick slices at it, but it goes to the left and wide, and that would be the first wide of the game here with almost 12 minutes played. It remains 7-3 to the MacCumhaills men.
Yeah, the efficiency has been very good on that occasion. Cian Mulligan made a great run inside, so Kevin saw him but decided to take the shot on himself with the outside of it, but just didn't make right contact with it, and it tailed well wide.
The kicker goes towards the middle, and the look of the bounce of the ball goes the way of Downey's. Pasoma was fouled, but the advantage has been played. This is Gary McClafferty now. Again looking up to see what the movement was like with McElwee, but he's well marshalled, so Oisin Boyce just has to wait on support. It goes to Ronan Gallagher now. Here's Johnny McGrody once again. McGrody jinking left, jinking right. He goes out to the left. He's hugging the edge of the arc. He pops that one forward into Shields. Shields is inside the D. He lays it off now to Cian McBride, who kicks it high, and that one's going to go over the bar. And the big midfielder from Meath, with an association to the Downings club, brings it back to a 3-point game at 7-4. Now McBride gets his first of the day.
Yeah, 12 minutes in, and again good work from Downings. They're having to work really hard for their scores because MacCumhaills are very well set up defensively, so they're having to play the ball around, but they are creating them openings, and 4 points on the board after 12 minutes isn't bad.
Here's a man who's playing very well for MacCumhaills, Luke Gavigan. Sends it back into the centre to Sean Martin. MacCumhaills spreading the ball now across the field. It's with McGinty once again. Conor McGinty pops that one forward into McMenamin. McMenamin sporting those bright orange boots. He's very easy to spot from way over here at the other side of the pitch at the back of the stand. This is McGinty. Now it goes to Jimmy Keegan, and it seems to be that the rain's getting stronger and the wind's getting stronger as well here at the O'Donnell Park. It's tough conditions for a game of football, but it's suiting MacCumhaills at the moment. They have a 3-point advantage. Here comes young McCormick again. He's onto the edge of the arc. He's inside the arc. This is going to register as a good score and a 1-point score. He just stepped inside at the last second, and he's holding the back of his left hamstring as well, and maybe might have twigged the hammer there on that occasion, but there is that score on the board, so it's back to 4. It's 8-4, and McCormick this last couple of minutes causing a bit of trouble down this left-hand side.
Yeah, he's a brilliant wee footballer, so he's really quick and really fast. I hope that he's not carrying an injury. Had the bravery to take on that shot after missing one just 60 seconds ago, but what's interesting is Martin Riley is dropping very deep, getting on a lot of ball and conducting a lot of the play out around the middle of the field himself and Conor McGinty.
Now it's picked up by Danny McBride. McBride now coming across field. He has Pasoma there. Yeah, we're just... McCormick was speaking to his management. He's staying on the field. He seems to be okay. In the meantime, Oisin Boyce rather is going to send it back into the middle. They're on the edge of the MacCumhaills half. Ronan Gallagher gives it to Alan Pasoma. Back to Cian McBride. McBride now gives it to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher looks up. Paddy McElwee once more. Out to Oisin Boyce. And McBride's looking for it. He wants another score here, McBride. There's a curl on it, and it curls between the posts. And it's back-to-back scores in the Downing scoreboard. That is for big Cian McBride, and it's back to a 3-point game, 8 points to 5. And Downing's worked that one very well, Brendan.
Yeah, and we've noticed that's been a trend with their 5 scores, Oisin. They've had to create that opening because of the setup of MacCumhaills. They've had to work the ball around to create that opportunity and get to Cian McBride on the last 2 occasions into a few yards of space, and he was brave enough to take on the shots and really executed them really well, so he did. Impressive.
The 7 now for MacCumhaills is Fintan Griffin. It's laid off here to, is it Keegan that's away on a run? Takes a hit from Oisin Boyce. He stays on his feet. Keegan now is going to give it to McCormick. McCormick's hobbling, so he is. You can see when he just kicked that ball, he's having a problem with the hamstring, Kevin McCormick, so there could be a change coming very, very soon here for the MacCumhaills men. And Gavigan's overcarried. The referee's blowing quickly, and the free's taken quickly. Johnny McGrody sending up to Paddy McElwee. Paddy McElwee looking for another score here, and that one goes out to the right and wide, and Downings will be disappointed with that. The keeper was off the line. That's the first wide of the game, but they should have really punished MacCumhaills for that mistake.
They should have, yeah. You know, Paddy was well. He got one in front of his man, got the ball. I think he had a look and saw that the Downings keeper was, or the MacCumhaills keeper Gallen was off his line. Tried to put it over him, so he did, but a poor wide from Paddy for a man with Paddy's expertise in putting ball over the bar. He really is, you know, very accurate normally, and that's a couple of wides for Paddy now in the first 15 minutes.
Aaron Kelly, I think, yeah, Aaron Kelly is going to come in for Kevin McCormick. So it looks like McCormick's day is done. We're going to have a change here shortly. In the meantime, the fullback Conor Griffin has worked it up into the Downings half. This is Conor McGinty once again, waiting for support. Back it goes to Sean Martin. Martin now is going to spread the ball across the field. And coming across that 45. is the wing-back Griffin, who gives it now to Marty O'Reilly. There's 2 Downings men on his tail here. Comes to Sean Martin once again, but the space is crowded out. Downings men run into each other. It's opened it up for Sean Martin, and Sean Martin kicks it high and it drops. Oh, it comes off the upright. The chase is on. Chance of a goal here for Marty O'Reilly. It's into the back of the net. Downings have got a huge score here, and it's come from the veteran Marty O'Reilly. And it came off the upright, and O'Reilly reacted quickest of them all. And now it's a 1-8-5 game as MacCumhaills make that change as well.
Yeah, brilliant awareness from Marty O'Reilly to stay awake, to stay alert. The ball originally, Sean Martin out the field was looking to get an opening to get a shot off, and suddenly it opened up for him. He put up a brilliant shot, came off the upright. Marty O'Reilly, the experienced man, just slotted it under the keeper. Brilliant composed finish from Marty.
You're tuned to Highland Radio Sunday Sport. We're live from the first game of the double-header here at the O'Donnell Park in the 2 remaining prelims of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship. Our coverage in association with Highland Motors at the Mountaintop and Letterkenny. Check them out, of course, at highlandmotors.ie for details of all their new and used vehicles. And if you're also tuned in, watching us on the Donegal GA streaming service in association with streamsport.ie, you're very welcome along this afternoon. And you're probably sitting back watching it in front of the fire with the heat on in the house. It's different conditions here in Letterkenny. There's driving rain and wind at the moment at the Letterkenny venue, which Downings are playing into, but it's assisting MacCumhaills in this opening half, and MacCumhaills have a 6-point advantage off the back of that goal. It's 1-8-5 with 18 minutes played. Danny McBride's carrying the ball forward now for Downings. Johnny McGrody wants it back. He's going to have to go back, is he? Yeah, looks like he's going to have to go back to Cian McBride, who's standing on the 45 with a bit of space, because MacCumhaills have lined up well, so they have defensively. Oisin Boyce wants it now out this right-hand side. It goes to Alan Pasoma. Here comes Ronan Gallagher trying to ride through a couple of challenges. Johnny McGrody has it. There's not enough space for Johnny McGrody to have a go. Pasoma has it once again inside the D. Goes to ground. Manages to find McGrody. McGrody just shrugs off the player in front of him. He kicks it high and it drops out. Well, it drops over the bar. I thought it was wide, but it stayed in the inside of the upright. So Johnny McGrody's got his second today, is it?
Yeah, first from play.
Yeah, first from play.
The first one was from a free, Oisin, 19 minutes in, and you know, we spoke before the game about the importance of Paddy McElwee and Johnny McGrody to get the scores on the board for Downings. That's their first, between the two of them, that's their first score from play. They're on the ball again. Yeah,
they got the ball from the kick out. It was dropped by Griffin. McGrody has it once again, gives it to McBride. McBride on the edge of the D, kicks it high, and that one's gone over the bar as well. Back-to-back scores here for Downings. And they've responded very well from the goal, with points coming from McGrody and McBride. So 1-8 now plays 7 points. So it's a 4-point deficit once again for the Downings men.
Yeah, a really good response from Downings, and you know, after the concession of the goal up the other end of the field, to come down and get them 2 scores, bring it back to a 4-point game. As we say, MacCumhaills have advantage of the win in this first half, and the lead by 4, 1-8 to 7 points. And now there's another indiscretion there where the MacCumhaills player is deemed to have picked the ball up off the ground.
Yeah,
and it's a free just outside the arc, is it, Oisin?
We're wait to see what Cal Boland. Yeah, it's going to be outside the arc, so it's within Ronan Gallagher, Paddy McElwee or Johnny McGrody territory. We'll wait to see which one's going to take it. Johnny McGrody has the ball, but Ronan Gallagher's coming up, and now he's going to move away. So I think it's McGrody's going to take this free.
Yeah, for a right kicker on this side, so it is. Paddy mustn't have fancied it after the previous one, but that wind is a factor, so it is Oisin holding that ball up, you know.
So McGrody's going to, he doesn't want to take it on either. He decides to go back short, and he's kicked it straight to Keegan. So Downings have given the ball back straight away. Sean Martin now has got runners over on the right-hand channel. A drops there for the cornerback, Rory Callahan, the man who got 2 goals last week against Gweedore. Into the Downings half, waits for support. Arriving is Sean McMenamin. McMenamin's just going to pop that forward to McGinty. McGinty's going to bring it back now to the other McGinty and Fionn. And up to join in the action now comes the fullback, the wingback, Fintan Griffin. Sean Martin. And Downings were able to retreat and get back into their position. Jamie Keegan once again. Keegan is going to bring it back here to Conor McGinty. McGinty's popping that forward to Aaron Kelly, who gets his first touch, gives it back to McGinty. McGinty now challenged by Podging Shields inside the arc. It's going to be a free. Cahill Boland's got the book out, so I don't know if there's going to be a card coming here. But it is an opportunity now for Conor McGinty to get another score and sort of settle MacCumhaills, who you think maybe when they got that goal it might have been Downings that was rattled, but it was the total opposite.
Yeah, it's just been very good from Downing, so the response to that goal has been very, very good. But again, we see that Conor McGinty taking his man on, forcing the foul and putting over the resultant free over the bar to bring it out to a 1-9 to 7 point game for MacCumhaills again, Oisin.
And that's now 3 points for Conor McGinty in this game, and the advantage is back out to 5. We have bang on 8 minutes to go here in the opening half of the third of the preliminary quarter-finals. Already this weekend, Niamh Connell and Termon had 2 huge results yesterday. Niamh Connell defeated Killybegs to take their place in the quarter-final draw, and Termon have probably got the result of the championship so far, where they knocked out the defending champions St Eunan's with a highly intensive fixture played in Convoy yesterday evening as Termon progressed to the quarterfinals, where those 2 teams of course joined the 4 sides that already went through in the form of Gweedore, Dunloe, Kilcar and St Michael's. And there's 2 more spots up for grabs in the quarterfinal draw. That draw will happen live on Highland Radio Sunday Sport, or extended Sunday Sport, round about 6:30 this evening. McGinty's in again for another one, and he sticks it over the bar. 4 points for McGinty, and now it's back to a 6 point game. It's 110 to 7. I was telling you about the quarterfinal draw, which will be live on Highland Radio Sunday Sport at around 6:30 this evening. Plus it will also be available on the social media channels of official Donegal GAA as well. And we'll also have the semi-final draw of the intermediate. Stay tuned, because Kieran Cannon will be updating you shortly on how those intermediate games are going, and who will be joining Malin in the semi-finals. Malin, of course, defeating Niamh Padraig Ishkaheen, last year's junior champions and All-Ireland finalists, in a cracking game that was played in Buncrana last night as well. So Sean Martin's going to carry the ball across field now for MacCumhaills. Martin's looking for some runners, and he has Finn McGinty there. McGinty's going to send it down the channel looking for Keegan. Keegan on this occasion is out ahead of Oisin Boyce. Keegan continuing to hold on to possession just on the 45 now, heading towards the clubhouse end of the ground here in Letterkenny. Keegan lays it back to Conor McGinty. McGinty to Sean Martin. Martin pops that one forward to McMenamin. Now to Marty O'Reilly, the scorer of the goal for MacCumhaills in this opening half. Gives it now to Luke Gavigan. Gavigan with a bit of room here, going for another 2-pointer. Gavigan kicks it high, and on this occasion he's not able to find the target. That would be marked as a second wide for MacCumhaills, and it remains 110 to 7 with under 6 minutes to go to the break.
Yeah, but some lovely football from MacCumhaills, working the ball. Sean Martin heavily involved again there, so he was, coming up from centre half back. He's so comfortable and composed on the ball, creating the openings for the likes of Luke Gavigan. The point before that, Conor McGinty's, what a team move, like the way they work the ball through the hands, quick hands, McGinty inside the cover and over the bar. So some really, really fluent football from MacCumhaills. They'll be happy enough, Oisin. 110 to 7 points, 24 minutes into the game. What are we, 25 minutes into the game? So there's been some really good scores, and there's been some good football on display, so it has, Oisin.
There's one of the Downings players just getting a bit of treatment as we await the kick out to come from the Downings goalkeeper. And if Downings were able to sort of get back into a 3-4 point game again with the breeze at their back, do you think the management would be content at half time?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I suppose they won't want it going much further out now than that 6 points at the minute, so they won't, because there is an advantage there now. Looking at the forecast this morning, the wind is to die down as the afternoon goes on, Oisin. It's at its strongest now, but they need to stay in the game to keep tagging on the points, doing exactly what they're doing. The goal was probably an unlucky break for them. They've stayed within touch of MacCumhaills, so they have, and they're doing quite well.
But the other side of it is MacCumhaills, I'm sure, will feel that they can maybe add on another couple here before the end of the game and try and build on the advantage, Brendan.
Absolutely, yeah. And they seem to be getting their scores with that bit more ease, Oisin. They seem to be able to create and prize them openings with that bit more ease. And here's Luke Gavigan powering through the middle again. Yeah,
lays it off now to Griffin. Griffin steps inside the arc, challenged there by Shields. The ball's going to come back now to Conor McGinty. McGinty, they're going to stick it into the middle where Jamie Keegan is there just on the edge. And there's a man free out on the right hand side. An opportunity as they're here for MacCumhaills. Chad McSorley, and that one goes over the bar. It's dropped over the bar. It's another score for MacCumhaills. It's a first for Chad McSorley, and that now means it's a 111 to 7 game, and it's a 7 point advantage for the first time in this tie for the Twin Towns boys. Yeah, and again, Conor McGinty heavily involved, holding the ball up, playing with his heads up, spotted that an overload on the far side of the field, was able to get the ball over to Jamie Keegan, who in turn played it on to Chad McSorley, and he excellently put it over the bar for his first score of the day, and they're after winning the resulting kick out again, Oisin. Here comes McCool's charging forward into Kelly. Aaron Kelly, the first half substitute's got another one as well. And that's now 4 unanswered scores, is it, for the MacCumhaills side? Yeah. Kelly gets his first of the day, and now it's an 8-point advantage, and we've still got 3 minutes to go, and it could be a long 3 minutes for the Downings boys before they get into the changing room. And the referee, Cathal Boland's, just noticed a bit of pushing and shoving between a few players. He's going to have a word with the two midfielders, the 2-9s. So Joe Boyle and Paul McGruddy are the two players in question. Cathal Boland's just having a stern word with the two of them to calm things down, and he's letting them know that he's not going to be having much more of it. So he's not. The linesman, who's Enda McPhilly, was keeping a close eye too. And strict instructions coming from Cathal Boland as the two boys just lean into each other once more. Anyway, they've parted, so they have. In the meantime, the kick out from the Downings keeper is heading towards the left side, but Luke Gavigan had a high arm on McBride there. McBride does the tap and go, and away goes Downings. They give it to Ronan Gallagher now. Gallagher steps inside the MacCumhaills half. It goes out to McGruddy, then to Basoma. McBride picks it up as he heads towards the 21. Here's Paddy McElwee with the big right boot. It's going to be a Gary Owen up and under. Out comes the MacCumhaills keeper Gallen, who totally misses it, but there's enough white shirts around there to deal with the danger. Fintan Griffin's the man, has had it, and there's a foul in there on Griffin, so it's going to be a free out to Downings, and Owen Gallen will be very, very happy to see Griffin in front of him.
He will indeed, yeah, because Owen Gallen overcommitted there on that ball and got himself under. It could have been trouble for MacCumhaills, but eventually his defenders cleaned up the bit of a mess for him, and they're coming out with the ball now. Chad McSherry been put under a lot of pressure. But MacCumhaills have played some really, really good football in this half, so they have. And that's a brilliant ball from Chad McSherry. Spotted Cian Mulligan inside the cover, and Cian Mulligan, Cian just doesn't get contact right with that, and it tails to the right and wide. Oshie.
Full-time score in from the Intermediate Championship. Milford's Championship has come to an end. Niamh Worra's hunt for the Intermediate title continues as they go to the semi-finals. The Lower Rosses side have defeated Milford today 3-14 to 1-13. So Niamh Worra are also into the pot in the Intermediate Championship semi-finals. Malin, of course, already in from last night, and there's a couple of other quarterfinals, of course, being played today as well. Red Hughes up against Bundoran, and Leave Columba are playing Buncrana. We'll have scores from those during the afternoon too. The ball's back into play. Downings need something here in this game. They're trailing by 8. We're into the closing minute of the half. Alan Pasoma bringing the ball forward to Johnny McGruddy, this time on his left foot. He's looking to hit the target, but he can't find it. It's another wide for Downings. That's now 2, and it stays at 8 points. The kick out from the keeper, and the fullback can't get to it. Soccer style kicks it away, and it's with Cian McBride for Downings. Was there a big score late in the half here for Maxie Kern's side? Oisin Boyce goes under the tackle, still holds on to the ball, gets it away now to Ronan Pasoma, who links up with Paul McGruddy. Alan Pasoma now, the oldest of the Pasoma boys, giving it back to Boyce. Ronan Gallagher, well, he kicked from distance, looking for 2. There's going to be 1 minute added on here at the end of the half, and we're already into the opening 10 seconds of that. Downings continuing to hold on to the ball. Danny McBride now working it down the left-hand side, looking to get through. Sean McMenamin popped over the top into Pajin Shields. Shields now on the lip around. Lets the ball go. Gives it there to, is it Pasoma? And now Oisin Boyce. So Downings in the closing 30 seconds of the opening half here of this preliminary quarter-final are trailing by 8 points. Downings, they need something big here if they're to end out the half. Nice ball sent in there inside the 13 to McClafferty, but the MacCumhaills are set up well, so they are. Ronan Gallagher's going to have a go now trying to punch through it. Out it goes to McBride. Danny McBride, the angle's too tight. He gives it into McClafferty. McClafferty looking for a score. Brilliantly blocked down, but McClafferty's going to have the ball back. Not enough room for a second attempt. Cathal Boland's heard enough. The half-time whistle is blowing. We've played the minute, and it's MacCumhaills who are leading 112 to 7 points in this tie. It's an 8-point advantage at the break. The goal was massive, coming from the veteran Marty O'Reilly. But that closing period as well, from the 22nd minute, 4 unanswered scores, firmly have the Twin Town side in the driving seat in this game, Brendan.
Yeah, they've played some really, really good football, so they have in the first half. And, you know, that man, Conor McGinty, it was him that got the block on the ball there from that point attempt. He's put 4 points on the board himself, one brilliant 2-pointer. And, you know, Luke Gavigan in the middle of the field has given them a foothold in the game. We spoke about how easy it seems to be for MacCumhaills to get through the Downing's rear guard in comparison to Downing's, who are having to work really, really hard, and actually did really well to put 7 points on the board, because MacCumhaills are defending really well. They're very well set up. They're playing zonal defence, marking a couple of key players, and Downing's would have been looking to Johnny McGrady, Paddy McAwee to be their scorers in chief, and they haven't delivered on that, so they have in this first half, so a lot will be expected of them in the second half, Oisin.
Okay, just to confirm as well, Red Hughes are into the semi-finals of the intermediate. They beat Bundoran today 2-9 to 1-8. Niamh defeating Milford 3-14 to 1-13, so Niamh Lower Rosses are also one where they join Malin in the pot in the last 4 draw, which is coming up later for the intermediate championship. So there's one spot to be filled, and it's Leave Columba against Buncrana, who are playing this afternoon as well. But here at the O'Donnell Park, in the first game of the double header in the preliminary round of the senior championship, it is MacCumhaills who have a commanding 8-point advantage against Downings. They lead 112 to 7, and we'll be back real soon with live second half coverage from this one. Sean McMenamin, who's in to take the place of Oisin Gallen. It's popped into Joe Boyle. Joe Boyle steadies himself on the right foot. Joe Boyle's going to split the post here. We've got our first score off the Marty Riley now, just on the edge of the arc, looking for support. He gives it to Conor McGinty, going for the 2-pointer, and that one drops over the bar. It's a 3-point to no score game. Downey's going for a 2-pointer. Instead it comes back in. This is Danny McBride, who has a pop here on the left boot, and that's a good score. Then Towney. McGrody kicking into the River Swilly end of the ground. Here he comes, should be simple enough. Splits the post over to Gavigan. Gavigan crosses the 45, is able to get through the challenge at Pasoma. He's won a free, but does he need it? Advantage is played, but he doesn't need the free because he's got
put over the bar, and he's after winning that kick out too.
Yeah, Jordan Nugent kicks the ball straight up the field. It's one big Gavigan. Gavigan sends a delightful ball into McCormick, who slots it over the bar. That's a pops that one forward, wants the return. Johnny McGrody on the edge of the D, but he's closed out. Gives it to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher's going to stick this one between the posts. Yeah. Hands raised by the referee. The white flag. I think that might be, is it Conor McGinty way over there? Back to Gavigan. Gavigan wants a 2-pointer here. He kicks it high with that big right boot. It drops, and it drops over the bar as well. He's hugging the edge of the arc. He pops that one forward into Shields. Shields is inside the D. He lays it off now to Cian McBride, who kicks it high, and that one's going to go over the bar. But it's sitting MacCumhaills at the moment with a 3-point advantage. Here comes young McCormick again. He's onto the edge of the arc. He's inside the arc. This is going to register as a good score and a 1-point score. Just out to Oisin Boyce. And McBride's looking for it. He wants another score here, McBride. There's a curl on it, and it curls between the posts. And it's back-to-back scores in the Marty O'Reilly. There's 2 Downings men on his tail here. Comes to Sean Martin once again, but the space is crowded out. Downings men run into each other. It's opened it up for Sean Martin, and Sean Martin kicks it high, and it drops. Oh, it comes off the upright. The chase is on. Chance of a goal here for Marty O'Reilly. It's into the back of the net. Downings a go. Pasoma has it once again inside the D. Goes to ground. Manages to find McGrody. McGrody just shrugs off the player in front of him. He kicks it high, and it drops out. Well, it drops over the bar. I thought it was wide.
Ball again.
Yeah, they got the ball from the kick out. It was dropped by Griffin. McGrody has it once again. Gives it to McBride. McBride on the edge of the D, kicks it high, and that one's gone over the bar as well. Back-to-back score.
The goal has been very, very good, but again we see that Conor McGinty taking his man on, forcing the foul, and putting over the resulting free over the bar to bring it out.
Live on Highland Radio Sunday Sport, or extended Sunday Sport, round about 6:30 this evening. McGinty's in again for another one, and he sticks it over the bar. 4 points for McGinty. Right hand side. An opportunity as they're here for MacCumhaills. Chad McSorley. And that one goes over the bar. It's dropped over the bar. It's
out again, Oisin.
Here comes MacCumhaills charging forward into Kelly. Aaron Kelly, the first half substitute's got another one as well. Football has started in the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior.
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.
And you're welcome back to our coverage of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship preliminary round quarter-finals. And as Marty O'Reilly's the last man to come out onto the pitch for MacCumhaills, the boys from the Twin Towns from the Sternorder Balbafay area are leading here by 8 points, 112-7. But Downings do have the wind at the back in the second half. And I suppose, Brendan Kilcoyne, before we get this second half underway, is 8 points a gap that the Downings men you feel can close out?
Oh, definitely, yeah, it is. Obviously with the 2-pointers and that, that if they can get enough sufficient ball around the middle third and feed that forward line, feed McElwee, feed McGrady, Oisin Boyce, these guys are well capable of kicking scores, but it's a big assignment for them, Oisin.
Yeah, just confirming a change there. So Conor Boyce is in, taking the place of Danny McBride. So 12 replaces 15 in the Downings side. And the ball is in play. The jersey was tugged, says the referee. Look, Gavigan gets on with this one quickly. Gavigan now going to spread the ball across to the right-hand side, and coming up from deep is Finn McGinty. Excuse me, to Marty O'Reilly. And now MacCumhaills working it down this right-hand side. Coming back infield, however, is Marty O'Reilly. Jimmy Keegan's there. He goes to the centre half forward. Gavigan's there for support if he wants to use him. So is Conor McGinty. Conor McGinty's been tracked there by Alex Gawrodowski. And away goes McGinty now. On to the 45 in the Downings half. Running into the driving wind and rain. Oh, McMenamin, lovely football from McMenamin, sliding on his knees, laying the ball off. This is Jimmy Keegan's going to have a pot here, but it spins off the top of the boot. It's going to drop and stay in play. There's a tussle down there for it. Oisin Boyce is watching over it, gets it into his grasp, sends the ball across the face of goal to Alan Pasoma, who's going to look to get this ball up the field and away to safety. Pasoma now feeds it into the fullback, Tiernan McBride. McBride's going to give it to Ronan Gallagher. Ronan Gallagher is fouled. Referees playing the advantage. And now Gawrodowski for Downings, working up the right hand side. Pops it forward looking for McGrady. McGrady's out ahead of the defender. The ball now goes to Paddy McElwee. That one's going to drop over the bar. That's a good score by Downings. The white flag is raised, and it's Paddy McElwee who's got another one here for Downings, and they get the opening score of the latter half.
Yeah, and on his right foot too, so really impressive from Paddy. Well worked score again, working really hard to get the scoreboard ticking over on them. And I suppose just one reference, MacCumhaills have been very strong in the first half of most of their games, Oisin. They surrendered a big lead against late on against St. Michael's in one of the early rounds of the league. They surrendered a lead against Glenswilly, I think, then to end up in a draw. So they have been able to build up these leads, but it's their game management, and their manager Gary Wilson referred to it. So they'll be looking, I'm sure Gary would have spoken to them at half time about how they manage this in the second half.
The referee speaking to Paul McGrady, and is also speaking to, is it Luke Gavigan there? And he's already spoke to the midfielders towards the end of the first half. And McGrady and Gavigan are getting a yellow card apiece there from the referee. So 112 plays 8. The gap now is 7 points. MacCumhaills still in the driving seat. Good kicking from Gallen. Able to find his man. Joe Boyle. Boyle lays it off to Griffin, back to Boyle, and now Rory Callan picks it up. The other cornerback is Fionn McGinty, who's been met by Conor Boyce, or Oisin Boyce rather. MacCumhaills in the hunt for the opening score of the second half. They've got a man free here on the edge of the arc. Charging forward is Fintan Griffin, who slides, goes to ground, releases the ball. The fullback for Downings, Tiernan McBride, goes in there. There's a boot left in there as well. It's going to be a free to Dunaibh. Oisin Boyce now gives it to, is that Paddy McElwee, who's back helping out to defend. Sliding, going to ground, and this rain continues to hammer down here on the pitch at the O'Donnell Park in Letterkenny, and we have to say well done to Vincent McGlynn and the other members who have done a super job here of the pitch, and it's holding up really, really well in these damp and wet conditions here today. And there's 2 games on it, and the pitch is still looking good after 30 minutes of football early on in the first of the prelim matches. Conor Boyce, second half substitute now in the ball, gives it into Ronan Gallagher. Oisin Boyce on the age of the 45. Pops it over the top to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher trying to create something here. Steps inside the arc. Bit of room here for Gallagher. Gallagher lays it off. Maybe he should have won himself. Johnny McGrody's in traffic. He gets an effort away. And it goes over the bar. Johnny McGrody's got another score here. That's now 3 for McGrody in this game. And the opening 2 scores of the half going for Downings. McGrody was impeded. He has a word with the referee. The referee said there was nothing in it. And the kick out to come from Owen Gallen.
Yeah, and they're the 2 players that we spoke about at half time. Paddy McElwee, Johnny McGrody. Downings need to get them guys on the ball, get them in shooting positions. You were right there. Run Doherty came right through the middle, did really well, broke a couple of tackles and got the ball off to Johnny McGrody. I thought Ronan could have taken it on himself, but Johnny did really well because he'd kind of swivel on the spot on the tuppence, and it did really well to put it over the bar then.
MacCumhaills now, who are still waiting to get a score here at the start of the second half. Sean McMenamin has it. Comes in field to Sean Martin. Martin's going to lay that one back. And now the cornerback for MacCumhaills is Finn Griffin. Marty Riley out round the middle looking to pull the strings and help out. Keegan's going to feed it now to Callahan once again. And there's a bit of room down this right hand side, so there is. Everybody's pushed way up. And on top of the Downings goalkeeper at the moment. Conor McGinty's looking to get round the cornerback, which he does. Good running again by McGinty. McGinty is going to give it there to Chad McSorley. And now Keegan, but they have to go back to Marty Riley. Good defensive cover again by Downings. Marty Riley, of course, scored the goal in the opening half. And we are 5.5 minutes into the second half. They were leading, MacCumhaills were leading by 8 points at the break. It's currently 6. MacCumhaills on the ball. Griffin again. Or the fullback, Conor Griffin. There's also a Finton Griffin. Marty is going to chip that one up the line to Sean McMenamin, who's out ahead of Alan Pasoma. Good running by McMenamin. Aaron Kelly now flicks it forward. There's an advantage being played here. The cornerback's going to have a go. He's going to drop over the bar. He doesn't need the free. And that is Finn McGinty getting his first of the game. MacCumhaills get their first of the second half. They go to 113 in the scoreboard. Downings have 9.
Yeah, really good score from Finn McGinty. First cousin of Connor's, coming up from cornerback, showing the forwards how it's done. Did really well, broke the tackle. He knew he had a free shot in because the referee had signalled the advantage, and really did well to put it over the bar. Good score for MacCumhaills, 113 to 9 points.
Ronan Gallagher gives it off to Paul McGrody, who's just put too much weight on it over the top of McAwee, but McGrody's kept running and he's got there ahead of the MacCumhaills player. He made up for the mistake, so he did, the big midfielder. Now he's just trying to get around Joe Boyle, and he's fouled as well, and the 2 boys are having a bit of a tussle, so they are. The referee's playing advantage here. Cian McBride goes from deep, and it's going to go out over the end line. The advantage is gone, so it's going to be marked as a wide, the first wide of the second half. That's now 3 in this game for Downings.
Yeah, good refereeing on that occasion. Give Downings the benefit of the advantage. They got the shot off, and there was an opportunity inside. The corner forward got out in front of his man, but he wasn't able to hold the ball. It skidded off him and went out wide, Oshie. Okay,
the ball back in play. Up they go for it. A Downings player got his hand to it and knock it on. The ball is spilled, and it's Conor Boyce who has it now, gives it to Ronan Gallagher. The challenges come in from Marty Riley. Brilliant tackle by Riley, and MacCumhaills have it back. Keegan's going to give it to Sean Martin. Conor McGinty has it once again now. Just watching Marty Riley here. He's calling all the shots in the middle of the park. He's encouraging the guys to work it forward and go with this down inside like Sean Martin's doing here at the moment. Oisin Boyce with a silly foul. Advantage is played. It's going to come back, is it, for the foul? No, play continues. The cornerback's up once again. And now the referee's going to bring it back for the free just in the edge of the arc.
Yeah, really good referee, and again, give the advantage to see if anything ensued. Nothing ensued. They were kind of closed down. Downings did enough defensive cover back. Ball ended up back where the original free was signalled, and now an opportunity for MacCumhaills inside the arc. Conor McGinty, ball in hand. We saw him kick 4 points in the first half. Can he add to his tally and make it 5 points and open up the lead basically back to what it was at half time?
Yeah, so the free coming in here for MacCumhaills. There's going to be a substitution as well, I see, on the Downings side. Sean Coyle's going to come into the game. There's this free now for MacCumhaills, which drops over the bar. Back-to-back scores for the MacCumhaills men. They've got that 8-point advantage back out again. And Conor McGinty has got another score, and that would be McGinty up to 5 points. Remember, he scored a top drawer 2-pointer in the first half as well. So it's 114 plays 9. And again, the big question's been asked of the Downings men. Can they get back in to this tussle here, as MacCumhaills at the moment are on course to make a quarter-final? And the rain has stopped and the wind's starting to die. Changing conditions here. Jimmy Keegan just got a hand to it, but Ronan Gallagher has the ball safely in his hands again. Advantage is played. Ronan Gallagher is going to go for a 2-pointer, and that's a cracking score by Ronan Gallagher, and it's back to 6. A mighty score by Ronan Gallagher. That's an impressive kick if you get to see a replay of it, Brendan.
Absolutely fantastic, yeah. Just took the ball on, rode Jimmy Keegan's tackle outside the 45, drove it with the outside of his butt straight over the black spot. Absolutely brilliant, inspirational score from Ronan Gallagher. And just what his team need. Will that be enough to inspire them on now for the last 20 minutes, Oisín?
Yeah. Sean Coyle has come into the game, and he's taken the place of the midfielder Paul McGrody, who's one of the players on a yellow card. Owen Gallen's going to take this kick. It's going to veer out to the right, up the left, up they go for it. And again, MacCumhaills have won the break. Good tackle in there from Gierotowski. MacCumhaills with Sean Martin have to work hard to get it back, because the rain comes on once again. The tap's turned on once again, and MacCumhaills going to turn the tap on as they work the ball forward to the cornerback, Finn McGinty. McGinty now lays that one off to McMenamin. Shows the dummy. McMenamin comes back now to Conor McGinty. Score of 5 points today so far. Gary Wilson is roaring at the official about a breach. I think Ian McPheely may have seen it. There's an advantage played here, so there is at the minute. Marty Riley has it, always turned on Coyle. Here comes Marty Riley getting onto the left boot. Marty Riley's effort goes over the bar. That's 1-1 now for Marty Riley. And on the scoreboard it goes to 1:15 plays 11.
Brilliant from Marty Riley, and really good score, really well worked again with Conor McGinty heavily involved, Sean McMenamin, and the ball eventually Marty Riley, who's playing really well today, getting on an awful lot of ball from MacCumhaills and coming deep, dictating the play from deep, Oisín, and really effective, looks fitter than he has done for a long time, no injury issues, so a big plus for MacCumhaills that.
And to the challenge goes Cian McBride, slides into the challenge. The referee blows for a free to the Downings men. Somebody said something to Cahill Boland as well, and he's just not having it at the moment. Sean Martin's going to come over as well, and Sean Martin will be getting a yellow card by the looks of it. Look, Gavigan, of course, on a yellow. Paul McGrody got a yellow, but he's gone off. And now the next man into the referee's book is going to be Sean Martin. So that's now 2 yellows in the ranks of MacCumhaills. Ronan Gallagher takes this free. Goes to Oisín Boyce. Boyce is going to send it back into the middle once again to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher now pops that one forward and drops into the path of McClafferty. McClafferty looking for Pasoma. Pasoma with the left boot sends it across and up and over the bar. 12 points for Dunaibh, and that's a first for Alan Pasoma, but they still trail here by 6, so they do. It's a 1:15-12 game. And on the clock we have played 42.5 minutes. So we are 12.5 minutes into the second half. The fullback Conor Griffin has to work hard to get the ball away, and it's come to the Downings men once again. This is Gary Van McClafferty, chipped over the top looking for Johnny McGrody. Out comes the keeper. The keeper gets a hand to it, but the referee's going to bring it back here for a free in the 45. And there's an opportunity here now for another 2-pointer for Downings, this time from a free. And if they can find the target here, we'll bring it back to a 4-point game. And I suppose we have to go back to, 19 minutes into the game when it was last a 4-point tie between the two sides. It did, of course, go out to 8 at the break. It swung back into 6, back to 8, back to 6. And now there's a chance here for Paddy McElwee with the wind at his back and the rain at his back, dead straight in front of the post. He's nearly lined up with the black mark on the crossbar, so he is. McElwee's got 1 in this game. He's 2-17 for the championship. This would bring him to 2-19 if he can find the target. And certainly with 60 minutes of football left to play, it'll bring Downings back into the mix. What can McElwee do here? Here he comes again with his right boot, but it's not going to have the height, and it goes straight into the hands of one of the men marking the house for MacCumhaills as they come away with it, and there was no real threat in that, Brendan Kilcoyne.
No, never. Didn't make right contact. He knew as soon as it left his boot that it was going to drop short. Poor kick, and Paddy just not working out for him today. That's 3 attempts he's had, and he has no return from them 3 attempts. He did get a score, the first score of the second half, two wides in the first half, and that one just didn't get the volume on it that it needed.
And now MacCumhaills just inside their own 45, trying to clear the ball. Conor McGinty has it once again, and he's going to work it up the right hand side. It stays at a 6-point game. Gavigan wants it ahead of him. Instead, McGinty's decided to track infield, spreads it across the middle third of the park. MacCumhaills quite happy to go at their own pace. Here's McGinty once again, laying that one off as MacCumhaills just hang around the edge of the Downings half, looking to create an opening. Gavigan again. Sean Martin looking to get away from Ronan Basoma. Jimmy Keegan on the ball. The fullback is Conor Griffin. Griffin picks it up. Downey's players looking for a breach. Didn't materialise. Sean Martin has it now in the 45 in the Downings half. Going through the challenge of Ronan Basoma, looking to get through the cornerback as well. He drops the ball, and just the sheer presence of the 2 Downings men have put Sean Martin off. Downings have the ball back with Part McGinty deep in their own half. Flick forward now to Cian McBride, who's tripped up there by the number 9 Joe Boyle. Tap and go by McBride. Under traffic he goes, pops it over the top to Ronan Gallagher. Advantage played again. Ronan Gallagher goes under the MacCumhaills half. Paddy McElwee wants it ahead of him. Instead he's giving it to Johnny McGrody. He's come out a wee bit deeper this time. McGrody going toe to hand, going left, going right, looking to get past Cian Mulligan. Shrugs off the challenge of Mulligan. And joining in now is Joe Boyle. He has to release the ball to McElwee, who kicks from deep, but McElwee's effort's going to result in a wide, 4th wide in this game for Downings, a second of the second half. And on the scoreboard with 14 minutes to go, it's still a 6-point game, 115 to MacCumhaills, 12 points to Dunaibh.
Yeah, that's brilliant defending from MacCumhaills on that occasion, Náisín, forcing Johnny McGrady out wide, putting the pressure on him, not letting him get a shot away. He eventually slipped the ball off to Paddy McElwee, who again was under pressure and got the shot away. It looked good, so did he. Made good contact with that shot, but just tailed off wide, unfortunately for Paddy.
So the ball back in play, and MacCumhaills are working it up the left hand channel. So we got a hand in there at the last second as the ball was broke out. It's going to be spread across the middle of the park again with Chad McSorley, who sends Sean Martin on his way. Onto the edge of the arc, stepping onto the D, kicks it high with the right boot, but it's going to drop short. Out comes the keeper with a fist. It's going to break in favour of Downings and Sean Coyle. Coyle has Giertowski ahead of him, but they've messed it up, so they have. Conor McGinty chips in. McGinty now. Big shoulder comes in for Giertowski, and it's going to be marked as a wide. A fair enough challenge from the Downings cornerback on Conor McGinty, and I suppose that the Downings defenders make it up for their mistake.
Yeah, Conor McGinty did brilliant initially, so he did spot it, that there was the ball was there to be won, went in, tried to chip it up, maybe, just didn't come off for him, and then eventually well defended from Downings.
And a bit of descent there, so it's going to be brought forward by the referee. Paddy McElwee was fouled, and one of the players had said something to the referee. They were calling that maybe McElwee had fallen into the challenge, and Paddy's just placed the ball on the edge of the arc. He's calling for the 2-pointer, so they're going to have a go here to again try and bring it back to a 4-point game. They'll be hoping that it's going to pay off this time for them.
Yeah, because they didn't take advantage of the last time. If they can bring this back to a 4-point game, MacCumhaills obviously are going to get a small bit nervous, you would expect, and it just lifts the whole Downings team spirit, so it does. But poor miss the last time. Can Johnny McGrady make a better attempt at it? Standing on the 45.
Yeah, here he is. Again, it's level with the black mark on the post, so it's dead straight in front of the post in the clubhouse end of the ground. Johnny McGrady in this tie has 3 points. Here comes McGrady. Kicks it high, and that one is over the bar. And a 2-pointer for Downings. The orange flag is raised, and now it's a 4-point game. And on the clock, we have 11.5 minutes to play. And if Downey's can get another one or two, we could be in for a grandstand finish here, Brendan.
Absolutely, yeah. We spoke, about, the 2-pointers. That's two of them. They've got Ronan Gallagher's big monster one that came from outside the 45, and brilliant composure from Johnny McGrady to put that one over the bar. And suddenly we're back to a 4-point game, and it's tight, but that's a really good kick from Owen Gallen out to Sean McMenamin.
Yeah, McMenamin's going to send it up the line now, looking for Cian Mulligan. Mulligan gets there ahead of the cornerback of Downings, but Garatowski does well to get the ball back. He feeds it to Ronan Gallagher. Is there a spring in the step now of the Downings men? It's popped forward. Sean Martin trying to get his hands on it. Downings get there. It's on the deck, so it is. The players are scrapping for it. It's picked up by, is it Johnny McGrady over there? And here come Downings once again, sent into Oisin Boyce, who needs to watch his house. Gavigan comes in with the challenge. Now it goes to Paddy McElwee. Here's an opportunity for Downings. Is there a goal opportunity? It's flicked across the face of goal. Oh, and it's kicked high and over the bar. And that's a point for Downings. But I'll tell you what, it was oh so close to me coming into the back of the net, and just the boot went in under the ball, and the keeper Owen Gallen is down. But if that found the net, that grandstand finish definitely was coming, Brendan.
Absolutely, and you wonder why he just, he could have just maybe palmed it into the net. He seemed to have loads of time, and you have to give good credit to Owen Gallen. Came out, closed down the space well, at least they left with a point, but that really should have been a goal, bringing it back to a 1-point game. This is a brilliant recovery from Downings in the second half, so it is game wide open now, Aisling.
Yeah, just taking a look at the second half and how things have panned out here, and once again we welcome our listeners from Highland Radio Sunday Sport who are joining us today. It is 15 points to Downings, 115 to MacCumhaills. We've had a 2-pointer from Johnny McGrady in the second half, and we've also had a 2-pointer from Ronan Gallagher too, which has aided Downings' cause. Paddy McElwee, Alan Basoma, and also getting
Gary Ban
McClafferty, yeah, was the man who had that opportunity of a possible goal, but it went over the bar. We've had scores from Finn McGinty, Conor McGinty and Marty Riley for MacCumhaills, but Downings certainly trying to put the squeeze and the pressure on to get into this game. The only trail now by a goal, and there's another substitution coming, and it's Rory Mulligan wearing number 19 that's going to come into the game. Short kick out gone by Gallen, finds his fullback Conor Griffin, who's able to get round Gary Ban McClafferty, but McClafferty's got a hand in there. The ball breaks. Gavigan comes in with a hefty challenge. Downings have it back with Ronan Gallagher. Marty Riley trying to strip the ball off Gallagher, but Gallagher's just too strong. Powerful running from the centre half back from Downings, who's going to spread it out now to the right hand side. Johnny McGrady has it. McGrady's going to send that one forward. It goes to Podgin Shields. Shields now to Gallagher. Back it comes here. They're lining up on the edge of the 45. Oisin Boyce is looking for Basoma. Basoma has already got a score in this second half. McClafferty once again to Oisin Boyce. Paddy McElwee's out hanging around the 45 too. This is Ronan Gallagher looking to pull the strings once again for Maxie Kern's side as they look to close out this 3-point deficit here in this tie. Johnny McGrady has it, flicks it forward. The space is opened up on the 21. That one drops over the bar. And we've got a 2-point game here at the O'Donnell Park in Downings, or the O'Donnell Park in Letterkenny rather, and it's Downings who are on the march. They've 16 points on the scoreboard. That's MacCumhaills 115. That's 18 plays 16. And MacCumhaills are going to make the change as well. Downings have a change coming in, but it's all to play for here.
Absolutely all to play for. What a second half this has been for Downings so far. A kick out has to go back. The referee wasn't ready. A couple of subs were made here, but absolutely brilliant play. They're showing great fight. Maxie Curran can be incredibly proud of his troops and the way that they've battled in this second half, Oisin.
Yeah, so the change is made. So Rory Mulligan is in, and he's in instead of Finn McGinty. I think it was Conor Boyce that got that point for Downings. I know the guys waiting for him to turn around. I think it's the 12 that got it. But it's 2 points. Downings are in this game.
Yeah.
Coming from 8 points down at the break. There's 2 in it now, and we've just over 7 minutes to play. Remember, it has to end today. Extra time and penalties if we finish up in a draw at full time. We had extra time, of course, last night in Convoy where Termon seen out the defending champion St Eunan's. Here comes Downings on the march again. It's flicked forward. There's a chance of another score. They have to get down in the ball. Back it comes to the 21. Alan Basoma on the right foot. And that one goes over the bar with a 1-point game here. 2.5 for Basoma. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unanswered scores. One of those has been a 2-pointer. This is a stunning comeback from Downings. and we've still got 6.5 minutes to play here. They're making a change too. Callum Cullen's coming into the game, and he's taking the place of Gary Ban McClafferty.
Yeah, big strong man Callum Cullen coming in, but well capable of winning his own ball. But that's been a brilliant 5 minutes, so it has, or 10 minutes from Downings to score the last 5 scores to bring it back to a 1-point game. It's been a tremendous comeback from Downings, showing great heart and intensity, not giving up on anything, fighting for every ball, and they have all the momentum now, Oisín.
Yeah, they're giving away a free, but Basoma's not happy with the referee. The arm and the shoulder, Luke Gavigan, but Gavigan's going to take this free, tap and go. Well, now the referee's telling him to get back, so he's going to have to take the free from just inside the edge of his half. As MacCumhaills now look for a response. They haven't scored since the 41st minute, and we're now in minute number 55. Gary Wilson's side are on the rack, and they put the ball out of play. Downings will have the ball, and they'll look to create something now to move it forward and try and get level here as Downings scrap for their senior championship, to continue in the senior championship. They're not out of it yet. Sideline ball will be taken deep in their own half by Oisín Boyce. There's another change coming for MacCumhaills, and it is 26. Adam Lynch is going to come in now for MacCumhaills as Gary Wilson makes another change. But all the momentum seems to be with Downings at the moment. We have 5 minutes to go in this encounter. It's 1:15 plays 17. Back it goes now to Basoma, to Ronan Gallagher. These two men looking to pull the strings and orchestrate another score. Oisín Boyce, who gets the signal to go into the half of MacCumhaills. They were just wondering if there was a possible breach there. Not the case. Ronan Gallagher already has carried it up to the 45. There's a player with a bit of space out in the right hand channel. This is Podgin Shields now, who's going to run at McMenamin. Away goes Shields. Shields is running hard. He needs support, however. The ball is dropped. The spill's picked up by Sean Martin. Now it goes to Chad McSorley. Martin's in between two Downings players. He swung round, and it's going to be a free to MacCumhaills, who badly need a score here.
They badly need a score, but the more badly need to get their hands on the ball and to control the game. They've lost total control of the game since the 41st minute. Marty Riley kicked that score. They just struggle to get their hands on the ball around that middle third of the air. Luke Gavigan, who had a great half, struggling to get in the game in this half. They need their experienced players and their better players to get on the ball and create something up front, because they haven't scored now for 14-15 minutes, Oisín.
Yeah, it's a long time, so it is, and we're going to say they're playing against the elements, but the elements have calmed down from what they were earlier in the first half. They just need to look to keep the ball. Adam Lynch is going to come in and take the place of Fenton Griffin. So another change by Gary Wilson. So the kick will come. The free will be taken. Launched up the field by Gavigan. That's a good delivery and a good fetch by Cian Mulligan out ahead of the fullback Tiernan McBride. And now Aaron Kelly, who was a first half substitute, who came in to take the place of the injured Kevin McCormick, who seemed to pull up with a hamstring injury. Kelly's going to feed it back now to Adam Lynch. Lynch going to send it to the middle, where there is Luke Gavigan. And Gavigan now is going to shrug off the challenge of Boyce. Big strong lad Gavigan. Gavigan chips that one forward. Out comes Chad McSorley now, again out ahead of the defender. McSorley waiting for support. McSorley needs support. Alan Pasoma's on his tail, hurrying away at him. Now it comes back to Sean McMenamin, who was named to start in place of Oisín Gallen in this game. Of course, Gallen is injured, not available for the MacCumhaills side today. But without him in the first half, they wound up an 8-point advantage, but that's been whittled down to just 1 by Downings in the second half. 2.5 minutes to go. It's a 1-point fixture here. MacCumhaills have the ball. MacCumhaills leading by 1 on the scoreboard. Sean McMenamin now going to release the ball. MacCumhaills still have it, hugging the sideline over on the Ora Leisure Centre side of the ground here at the Letterkenny venue. In comes Conor McGinty back in field. Marty O'Reilly is there. O'Reilly lays it back to Martin, to McGinty. And Downings have set up well. They're sticking to their men, so they are. They're watching their house. It's popped over the top now into the path of Kelly. Aaron Kelly with a bit of space, but he has to turn, come back and wait for support. Conor McGinty's there in the 45. There is 2 minutes to go, and I think there's going to be, just looking down, see below, there's either 3 or 4 minutes going to be added. I'll let you know what it is in a second. Sean Martin gives it out to Chad McSorley now. MacCumhaills badly need a score here. They haven't scored in 17 minutes. McSorley chips it out to the man free down the left-hand side. And that again is Aaron Kelly out that left-hand side. Not one of the shooters down that side for MacCumhaills as he trots back to the 45. He's going to come back infield once again. MacCumhaills continue to hold on to the ball. Marty Riley now lays it off to Lynch. Lynch to Marty Riley. And we've got 1 minute to go, plus whatever additional time is going to be added on. And it's, I don't know, MacCumhaills are just looking to keep the ball here and run down the clock. Aaron Kelly gives it back now to Adam Lynch. Lynch pops it forward to Jimmy Keegan. Keegan's looking to get away from the Downings player. He is fouled. The referee's played advantage. The whistle goes, and there's going to be a free on the edge of the Downings half, way over on the other side of the pitch for MacCumhaills, who no doubt will take their time with this, Brendan Kilcoyne.
Yeah, and did really well there. The 2 minutes of possession, so they had holding on to the ball. There was nothing really been created up top for the Mashie, no chance to get a shot off, so they had to hold on to the ball, and did really well. Sean Martin, Conor McGinty, you know, Aaron Kelly, all these players all involved. But this game is there for the taking for either side. You know, next score is going to be a big one, Oisín.
It's going to be huge. It will either level it up or win it for Downings, or it will win it for MacCumhaills. That's basically it. That's how it's going to play out here now. We have played the 60 minutes and still no word coming from our announcer of what's been added on. I suspect there's going to be 3 minutes. We'll tell you in just a moment. Yeah, there's going to be 3 minutes added on. Here comes MacCumhaills with Gavigan looking for a score to put them 2 in front. Goes to Keegan. Keegan's coming back across the face of goal. He goes to ground. The ball's in the back of the net. There's a goal for MacCumhaills. It's Chad McSorley. I think they got his foot to it after great work by Jimmy Keegan, and that looks like it could be the score that's going to send MacCumhaills to the quarter-final draw of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship. They needed a big score. They haven't had one for what, nearly 20 minutes, but they got a massive one, Brendan.
Massive score in the context of the game. You know, it's been a hugely brave effort from Downing, so I have to bring it back to a 1 point game in the second half. MacCumhaills looked struggling, but that period of possession gave them confidence on the ball. I want to mention one man, Sean McMenamin, came out, won the free that was kicked into him and was able to lay it off. That was crucial because Downings were marking all over the field. They weren't creating any space. Sean showed the bravery to show for the ball, win it and lay it off. And as you say, Jamie Keegan running hard at the defence then. I thought it was a foul. I thought the referee was going to signal for a penalty, and then suddenly the ball ended up at the net. Brilliant from Chad McSorley. Really relieved score, and Gary Wilson below us will be relieved with that score.
There's a couple of cards going to be dished out here by the referee because there was a bit of a shamazel, so there was before the ball was kicked out between both sets of players. We wait to see what these cards are going to be. Cahill Boland is speaking to 2 Downings players. Marty Riley is in there as well. So that seems to be a black card and a yellow card and a yellow card. Yeah, 2 yellows and a black being dished out. So Marty Riley and Ronan Gallagher get yellows, and the Downings player who is coming off here now is Padgett Shields, is it?
Padgett Shields, yeah.
Padgett Shields, yeah. So he's got a black card. So Downings are down to, what, 14 men. And we've got 3 minutes to play added on. We've 2 already played at that, but I suspect Mr. Boland is going to add on another bit of time at the end of it for that hold up there.
Yeah, he'll have to, and Downings will have to manufacture a goal of some. They'll have to try and manufacture something special in this last couple of minutes, Oisín. This kick out is crucial.
Kick out's crucial. There's going to be another sub coming in for MacCumhaills wearing number 14.
It's not Oisín Gallen.
It's not Oisín Gallen. Oisín Gallen on our sheet has 14. There's a couple of MacCumhaills men around me. Ronan McMenamin is the guy who is going to come in and
replacing Sean
McMenamin.
It was a fine game from me. Very impressed with Sean today. Showed for an awful lot of ball, got a lot of ball.
The ball's back in play, and we have 30 seconds to go to the 3 minutes of added time is up. Is there a chance for the Downings men? It's 2:15, place 17. It's a 4-point game, and there's a free here for Downings just inside the D. And you could probably call that a technical foul by the MacCumhaills men. There's a bit of a breach here as well, and the referee's coming over to speak to his linesman. And there's a breach on the Downings side.
Yeah, so, Alan Pasomas, he tried to get back there unspotted, but Enda McFeely eagle-eyed spotted it.
Here we go. Gal Boland away, brings it up the opposite side of the field. And I think that's just ends any sort of hope that Downings might have had. And young McGinty's going to get himself in bother as well here. Because you should know at this stage of the game that Cahill Boland runs a tight, strict ship, so he does. And he said something to him. There's a red
Red
card
card.
for Páirc McGinty. He said something that he shouldn't have to the referee, and now they're down to 13 men, and it's all unravelling here in the closing seconds for Maxi Curran side.
Absolutely, that's really, really harsh on them, so it is, because they showed great composure and great energy to come back in that second half, Oisín, and that goal obviously was the cap and the feather in the cap from a McCool's point of view, and they now have a free inside on the 21. Conor McGinty ball in hand to bring it back out to what would be a 5-point lead, and to should see them home. You would think that they're home and hosed at this stage. So Conor McGinty looking for his 6th score of the day, already has 5 points on the board.
Yeah, and he's going to knock this one over the bar, and when that goes over, I suspect Cahill Boland will be blowing the full-time whistle. So McGinty has ended the day with 6 points. It's been a good day for McGinty. It's going to be a good day for McCool's, but by God, they had to work hard for it. The ball's going to come back out into play by the Downings goalkeeper. We're going to see another few moments of action, and it's picked up by the fullback for McCool's. That's Conor Griffin, and Sean Martin lays it off now to Luke Gavigan. Challenge comes in, Gavigan goes to ground. Referee says play away. Keegan seemed to be tugged back. The referee didn't blow for the free. We've got nearly 2 minutes on top of the 3 added on played, and it's McCool's that are on the hunt for another score. Away goes McGinty. Oh, he just drops the ball at the last second. The chase is on for it. The keeper comes across. McGinty goes to ground. The ball's on the deck, and it's Aaron Kelly who gets there first, ahead of 2 Downings players. And it's going to be a sideline ball. It's not the final whistle, Brendan. I thought he was going to do it too. Yeah. We've played over 2 minutes on top of the 3 that was being added on, but we'd of course had a bit of a break and a bit of a schmozzle, and there was cards dished out, and Oisín Boyce is going to put it back into play for Downings, who had a spirited comeback in this game. Remember, they were 8 points down at the break, and they brought it back to just a single score with some wonderful football. Tap and go by Oisín Boyce. Ronan Gallagher has it. A couple of players off the left shoulder. Johnny McGrody is one of those. A high hitting hope from Johnny McGrody. Going to drop in around the house. McElwee's in there. He palms it down, and it's going to go out and be marked as a wide. And there is the full-time whistle. It's all over, and it means McCool's are going into the draw for the quarterfinals of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship after a 2-15 to 17-point win against Downings here today. But we had a cracker of a fixture. Remember, McCool's were leading by 8 points at the break. We had that goal coming from Marty O'Reilly, but Downings had a spirited comeback in the second half where they knocked over a number of 2-pointers, and they brought it back to just a score. McCool's went for the guts of nearly 20 minutes without a score in that second half, but it was their second goal from Chad McSorley which put them in the driving seat once again. It is finished 2-16 to 17 points, and McCool's, I would say they were worried for a big chunk of that second half, because Downings were certainly putting the pressure on them, but they managed to see it out, and they got probably the biggest score of the game right at the end.
They did indeed, yeah. That Chad McSorley goal came at a hugely reliefful time for Gary Wilson and McCool's, because they were under a lot of pressure. They were under the cosh, and it was a brave performance for Downings. They really pushed them all the way in the second half. We spoke about half time, could they claw back that 8-point lead? They brought it back all the way, so they did, but just couldn't get over the line. But you have to give, McCool's have had this habit throughout the championship of building up big leads and surrendering them then as the second half progressed. Today they got enough to see it out, so they did, with the Chad McSorley goal. And Conor McGinty, who had a fantastic game for them, ended up with 6 points. Chad McSorley scored a goal and a point, but Marty Riley too got on an awful lot of ball. I suppose what's worrying from a McCool's point of view, losing Kevin McCormick to that what looked like a hamstring injury with Oisín Gallen. That's 2 of their full forward line that are doubtful now for a quarter final next week, Oisín. But they'll be just happy to be back in the hat. Thought Sean Martin too at 6, centre half back, had a really, really strong game for them today. He was been tagged by Ronan Basoma a lot of the time. He didn't maybe feature as much on the front foot, but played really, really well. And McCool's, despite missing Oisín Gallen, losing Kevin McCormick, have enough to come out 2-16 to 17 points, and you know, they'll be happy to be going into a quarter final and hopefully get them time to rehab a couple of them injuries, Oisín.
Yeah, so that means MacCumhaills go into the hat for the quarter final draw, which takes place later on this evening, round about 6:30 after the Four Masters Glenswilly game, which is due to start now in over a half an hour's time at 5 o'clock in the second game of the double header here at the O'Donnell Park in Letterkenny. So MacCumhaills are into the hat along with Naomh Conaill, Termon, Dunloe, Gweedore, St Michael's and Kilcar for that senior draw. So there's one more spot to be filled, and it's going to be the winners of Four Masters and Glenswilly. And remember that they have to finish today. So if the game is level at full time, we will be going to extra time and penalties if required. I'm just going to wait to see if the manager of MacCumhaills is going to join us here before we head back to you. I can confirm that the 8 quarter-finalists for the Senior B draw, which will also take place: Naomh Conaill, Four Masters, St Eunan's, Gweedore, Termon, Dunloe, Arua and Glenswilly are the 8 quarter-finalists who will be in the hat for the Senior B draw, which is coming up later. And we can't forget about the intermediate men either. In the intermediate A, Malin beat Naomh Pádraig last night to progress. Today, Naomh Mhura overcame Milford 3-14 to 1-13, and Red Hughes progressed, beating Bundoran 2-9 to 1-8. So Naomh Mhura, Red Hughes and Malin are all in the semi-final draw for the Intermediate A Championship. The other quarter-final is being played at the moment, and that's taking place at the Burn Road in Termon, who's hosting that game. Just taking a look to see, well, Naomh Columba are back in it because they've got a goal. They were trailing 5-3, but a goal has come from Philip Doherty. So Naomh Columba are leading Buncrana now by a point. 25 minutes into the first half, it's a 6-5 game in favour of the Glenmen, who of course topped the group in the Intermediate Championship with 4 wins from 4. Okay, so I think we can have a quick word here with Gary Wilson, who is the manager of the MacCumhaills side. We'll just get ourselves organised here in our commentary position, and we'll ask the cameraman to come join us as well. We'll get some reaction here live in Sunday Sport. Brendan Kilcoyne is here too. Gary, we'll give you that microphone. I'll get you turned on here. Listen, thanks for coming up so quickly. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you, Eoin.
And a quarter-final draw. But Downing's really put it up to you in the second half. What's your initial thoughts there now after this one? Because you had to dig deep in the second half.
Well, I knew all week we were going to have to dig deep. Like, you know, Maxie's no slouch. Like, he was going to have them well set up. They knew what they were, and they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were about, basically. You know, so they weren't going to just come here and be sort of roll over and have us tickle their bellies, you know, for 60-70 minutes. Yeah. So plus the conditions played a part in it. It was slippy, it was greasy, you know, all that as well. Like, so it was. But look, overall, just glad to be in the hat, you know.
Yeah, were you concerned there coming into the closing minutes that there was just 1 minute?
Did you not see me down on the sideline?
Concerned? They were really putting the screw on you.
They were. And like, they've fantastic players. Like Johnny McGruddy and Paddy McAlee would get onto most teams in the county, if not all the teams. Big Cian McBride, such an asset now for them, you know, in the middle of the park along with Ronan Geller. Like, so they were putting a serious squeeze on. Thankfully, we were able to get hands on ball from primary possession on our kick out, you know, which was, it's a huge focus. You have to try and get hands on ball because we're not the biggest, you know, so we have to engineer other ways to get hands on ball, because we know if we can get hands on ball, we're a good team. Like, we had, I think Carol, the stats man there, was saying we had 17 attacks in the first half, we had 17 shots. Yeah. You know, so we know what we're about. The
conversion rate wasn't bad.
Conversion rate, and the conversion rate to go with that wasn't bad, you know, but so we know what we're about, like, you know, and we have to play to our strengths, and that's, I suppose that's football, isn't it?
Yeah, and you managed okay today without Oisín, particularly, I suppose, in that first half, so you did. It was a big blow not to have Oisín there for you.
Hockey's there too, like, you know, he's just fantastic in the dressing room. Like, he's just such a, like, he will go on to be a manager. Like, he's just a fantastic aura about him and a role model, and just, you know, just even like a lot of boys get hurt and they don't want to kind of be about it, and he's the first man on the meeting room this morning, kind of a thing, you know. So look, it's disappointing you don't have him, but look, hopefully all going well.
Will he play any part in the championship if you can keep going?
That's what I'm saying. They're all going well. Yeah. We hope to have him next week, you know. But look, there's a wee bit of work to do and just get things right and stuff like that. But all going well. We should have him for next week.
Okay then. Anyway, the main thing is you got through today. And you had to dig deep, and that goal towards the end was massive.
Huge.
You had to work really hard for it. Yeah. We actually thought maybe maybe young Keegan might have been pulled up for a penalty. I thought he was fouled, but McSorley made sure that
he
that
buried it. Yeah. And that's what Jamie's about. Like I'm working with this group for 3 years now, like, and I've always said it, and I've said it to Brendan and different boys that sort of want to hear me talk. Like, it's when Jamie's at it, we're kind of at it, and he mightn't be registering on the board, but it's what he does off the ball. Even that kind of ball that spilled there, he was fighting tooth and nail to get the hand to it, and Cian McBride was all over him, and that's what Jamie's about. And he fights and he scraps to get balls, because he's on the smaller side, but thank God Chad was there and it was stuck in the back of the net.
Into the quarter final, I suppose. It's gone anybody now at this stage. What is we looking at?
It's not going.
You have to wait to see what the draw is.
Well, you have to see what the draw is. Like, you look at yourselves last night. Like, I think the championship at the minute is so wide open. Like, I still believe that the big guns, if you want to say, will come to the fore. Like, you look at Glanty's last night, a huge performance. Gadore's already in the top 4, sitting waiting fresh. Kilcare's the same. I still think it'll come from there, but I think on any given day the likes of ourselves and Carman and all these other teams will give anybody a good game.
Brendan's here standing beside us too. He was on comment. Brendan, let you have the last word on this.
Just one thing, Kevin McCormick, was it a tight hamstring he came off with?
Tight eye, Kevin. To be fair to Kevin, like, he's doing a huge amount of work there for us. Like, Kevin's he's an actress by trade, so he's commuting a lot from Dublin up and down, and yourself sitting in the car 3 hours and then out to training and stuff. So it was just a niggle. I think he picked it up maybe just in the 2-point effort he let off, and then the next one he let it off again. He's okay, but it was just, we have 22, 23 players. He's a prolific wee forward. We need him, to get Oisin back, kind of a thing. So it was more of a precautionary thing, really. Thankfully, Aaron Kelly was there to step on and
did well. And Sean McMenamin, I thought, did really well for you too.
Yeah. Sean's had a difficult year. Sean actually picked up a spinal injury in the championship last year, and it went undiagnosed for a long time. And we got him back, I think, maybe the last league game. So that was out in the Glen last year. He got that to the last league game. So between that and then coming back into the team this year and then to here, that's his first full game. He's probably played 20-25 minutes of football, and he was really, really composed and assured of himself in possession, because he found himself a lot on the far side in possession of the ball, and he was really, really secure.
Showed well for a Jan. Conor McGinty, I thought, had an absolutely brilliant game. Showed massive leadership. I'm a big fan of his anyway.
Conor's a man. Quiet man. Conor, you'll never hear Conor speak. No, he's just look. I can't speak highly enough of them. They're a fantastic group to work with. They're just mad for information. You can't give them enough kind of a thing, and they're so humble as well. They'll go home and there's no wild kind of carrying on out of them, no wild nonsense out of them. They're just such a great, and Conor's just that step, we've seen it for years. He glides over the ground, and just hopefully he can push on to be bigger, better things.
Very good. Listen, well done today.
Cheers, thank you, Sean.
That's great.
Thank you,
Guy Wilson, manager of the MacCumhaills side, who have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Football Championship, and that brings an end to game 1 here today. Don't forget game 2 is coming up at 5 o'clock for Masters. Of course, they're taking on Glenswally. That's available as well on Donegal GATV and on the streamsport.ie service, of course, as we head towards the end of the day. One place left in the quarterfinals. We'll be back with more here from the O'Donnell Park real soon. Sean McMenamin, who's in to take the place of Oisin Gallen. It's popped into Joe Boyle. Joe Boyle steadies himself on the right foot. Joe Boyle's going to split the post here. We've got our first score. Marty Riley now, just on the edge of the arc, looking for support. He gives it to Conor McGinty, going for the 2-pointer, and that one drops over the bar. It's a 3-point to no-score game. Downey's going for a 2-pointer. Instead, it comes back in. This is Danny McBride, who has a pop here on the left boot, and that's a good score. Over to Gavigan. Gavigan crosses the 45, is able to get through the challenge at Basoma. He's won a free, but does he need it? Advantage is played, but he doesn't need the free because he's got
put over the bar, and he's after winning that kick out too.
Yeah, Jordan Nugent kicks the ball straight up the field. It's one big Gavigan. Gavigan sends a delightful ball into McCormick, who slots it over the bar. Pops that one forward, wants the return. Johnny McGrody on the edge of the D, but he's closed out. Gives it to Ronan Gallagher. Gallagher's going to stick this one between the posts. Yeah. Hands raised by the referee. White flag. I think that might be, is it Conor McGinty way over there? Back to Gavigan. Gavigan wants a 2-pointer here. He kicks it high with that big right boot. It drops, and it drops over the bar as well. He's hugging the edge of the arc. He pops that one forward into Shields. Shields is inside the D. He lays it off now to Cian McBride, who kicks it high, and that one's going to go over the bar. But it's sitting MacCumhaills at the moment of a 3-point advantage. Here comes young McCormick again. He's onto the edge of the arc. He's inside the arc. This is going to register as a good score and a 1-point score. out to Oisin Boyce. And McBride's looking for it. He wants another score here, McBride. There's a curl on it, and it curls between the posts. And it's back-to-back scores in the Marty O'Reilly. There's two Downing's men on his tail here. Comes to Sean Martin once again, but the space is crowded out. Downing's men run into each other. It's opened it up for Sean Martin, and Sean Martin kicks it high, and it drops. Oh, it comes off the upright. The chase is on. Chance of a goal here for Marty O'Reilly. It's into the back of the net. Downing's have a go. Pasoma has it once again inside the D. Goes to ground. Manages to find McGrody. McGrody just shrugs off the player in front of him. He kicks it high, and it drops out. Well, it drops over the bar. I thought it was wide.
Ball again.
Yeah, they got the ball from the kick out. It was dropped by Griffin. McGrody has it once again. Gives it to McBride. McBride on the edge of the D, kicks it high, and that one's gone over the bar as well. Back-to-back score live on Highland Radio Sunday Sport, or extended Sunday Sport, round about 6:30 this evening. McGinty's in again for another one, and he sticks it over the bar. 4 points for McGinty. Right hand side. An opportunity as they're here for MacCumhaills. Chad McSorley, and that one goes over the bar. It's dropped over the bar.
Kick out again, Oisin.
Here comes MacCumhaills charging forward into Kelly, Aaron Kelly, the first half substitute's got another one as well. And forward looking for McGrody. McGrody's out ahead of the defender. The ball now goes to Paddy McElwee. That one's going to drop over the bar. That's a good score by Down. Something here. Steps inside the arc. Bit of room here for Gallagher. Gallagher lays it off. Maybe he should have won himself. Johnny McGrody's in traffic. He gets an effort away, and it goes over the bar. Kelly now flicks it forward. There's a advantage being played here. The cornerback's going to have a go. It's going to drop over the bar. He doesn't need the
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.